Programmatic, the new problematic. Or is it?
Okay. Cool. Thank you. What was your sticky? What did you put up there?
I didn't.
Okay,
I
if you
didn't
were
put
to, what would be the one that
Talent.
you'd put up there?
Yeah.
Talent. It's interesting because, well, I mean, it's tough to say which they're from. Why is the talent the problem with LIN?
You know, I think what it is I think it's just with the ever-changing landscape, it's defining what talent's going to make the biggest growth area to your business. It's what's going to drive innovation. It's what's going to, adapt change within your existing environment. So talent's been a big, it's always a big, and I think with any company in media right now, I would think that talent acquisition is one of them.
Yeah. So one of the other big areas over there was speed, keeping up. A lot of what I sort of read over there was there's a lot going on. And if there's any area where there's a lot of things being thrown at people, it's programmatic.
Yes.
So how do you get out of the muck of acronyms? And because I mean, there's obviously some struggling going on, at least from the sticky notes.
Yeah, I think the thing with programmatic is, even a year ago, I think when I sat with you and we started, we had our last chat, I think programmatic within the industry, whether it's within the media agency or with vendors, it's just become a real melting pot of, it's kind of a melting pot of confusion. I think programmatic has derived technology which helps both sides of the fence, from a vendor standpoint to a publisher standpoint to even on the media buying side at the ad agencies. I think, however, the word programmatic has become this word that now people are like, oh, we're not programmatic. We are an audience buying platform. We are an audience deployment company. And I think that people are stepping away from programmatic because it's come to the table really fast, really aggressive. It's done a big change within the way that an ad agency operates. 30–40% of all digital ad spend being channeled through, programmatic solutions, going out the door programmatically, which is great. But then 6 months, a year down the line, we all read the press, the issues with programmatic, viewability, fraud, all this type of thing is going on. So people. Is this just
the Gartner hype cycle?
Yeah.
There's always the trough of disappointment.
Yeah.
Are we sort of entering into that trough of disappointment?
You know what we're doing? I think we're entering the Web 2.0 version of it. I think what it was, there's a lot of vendors.
Is that a good thing?
I think it is, because with anything in media, you have to make mistakes. And I think mistakes are good. I think challenges faced that we have to overcome are great. And I think right now, we hit such a pinnacle with programmatic. You could not have a conversation with anybody in media without that word coming up. You couldn't go into an ad agency without it. Publishers were talking about it. It was going to be the savior of media. However, right now, people don't want to.
Now everyone wants to talk about fraud and
everybody
bots.
wants to talk about fraud, bots, prevention, brand safety. How are we going to overcome this but still keep scale and efficiencies within our business? The answer is you can. It's just, let's not forget the human aspect behind programmatic, okay? The human aspect is still extremely valid within an agency, within a vendor, within a publisher, if you are looking to use technology to enhance your media buying, media placement, and strategy, okay? Having people do some due diligence around how you place media, what you're looking at, do some research, having key talent who understand what it is that you're buying. If you're putting $500,000, $1 million down on a programmatic buy on behalf of a brand, make sure you know exactly what's going on with it. And I think that is the learnings that are coming out of the industry right now. I think the technology is fantastic because it's brought an efficiency, it's brought measurement, it's brought analysis, and it's allowed small media agencies, even in the tier 2, tier 3 space, to be able to offer a lot more to their local clients as well in a quick, efficient, more competitive way. So it's not just at the big agencies, but right down into the local environments. The programmatic technology is helping everybody.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, we're talking about programmatic as problematic. So I'm going to bring up like one sort of topic around there, and you tell me sort of what the problems are. Transparency.
Transparency. I think the key thing is with transparency, is there transparency or isn't there? Private marketplaces have been born this year to answer that issue. If you want to put it in a broad top-level term. Private marketplace, what is it? Condé Nast, Hearst have a private marketplace. It lists in there their top 25, top 30 publishers. You know exactly where you're going. You know exactly what website you're going to be on. You know exactly what placements you're getting. You're buying it programmatically. You know whether it's an agency buying it or whatever. It's fully transparent. They're saying now that programmatic, 40% of all media run programmatically is non-viewable. It's non-viewable. What does that mean? Well, it's running behind the page. It's running below the fold. It's running on a bunch of websites that are, sectioned off in Israel somewhere, that you have no idea what's going on. That is a big issue. And transparency is, I want to see where my ads are running. If I spent $500,000 with you, could I actually see a PowerPoint of, say, 20 screenshots of the top 10 performing or top 20 performing sites where I was, which you would on the traditional digital buy maybe 2 years ago? That's a little bit more, that's where the transparency issue comes in. And
what about what price transparency?
Price transparency, there's variant different models out there, whether you're bidding, whether you've got, flat rates. I think one of the interesting things right now is with pricing, a lot of the larger agencies are even approaching companies like ours and saying, hey, we don't want to bid in your inventory anymore. We want to come in straight in the stack at a flat rate. And we're also, a lot of the agencies I'm talking to, some of the largest ones that are in the country, they're saying they're no longer willing to be on the open exchange in how they buy media because they don't want to be bidding in price. They want to have more viewability into what they're buying. Is it first party, second party? Quite a lot of what Quantcast was talking about. People want to see viewability into it, and they want to control price. They want to know if they're paying $8 CPM for it. Is that an $8 CPM buy, or actually is it a $1 CPM buy that I'm paying $8 for? So a lot of that is going on.
So how about ad fraud?
Ad fraud is huge. Ad fraud is huge. It's out there. It's out there with programmatic. 10, let's go 10 years ago, before programmatic, a lot of the volume players, when you look at the large ad networks that were around 10 years ago, bulk buying, there was fraud around then. It was just in a very different way. Again, it was all about where's my ads running, what's the viewability. Ad fraud right now is more prevalent because technologies are more advanced, and it takes a while for us to really find out where they are and hone in on them. I think that industry sort of watchdogs, like IAB and even Quantcast and Nielsen and all these types of guys are looking at it because they have to measure it. They have to stand by the way that they measure media. And I think the more industry bodies that are looking into fraud and investigating it, the better. Because at the end of the day, agencies do what they do with their due diligence. Publishers do it to find out what's coming through. Again, I think more industry oversight into ad fraud is going to help raise awareness, and it's actually going to do a lot more for the industry to clean it up.
How about programmatic TV?
Programmatic TV. Obviously, we're a television company as well as a digital company. We've been hearing this and looking at it for the last couple of years. Companies that, we're looking at it. We have a national TV firm who sells all of our national TV ads, and we sell local at the local level direct. Obviously, it's the same thing. It's an efficiency. Cox right now, are developing a platform. I can't even say it. CLYPDS, something like that, which is looking at.
Sounds like a disease.
It does. I'm like, I don't think I said it correctly. But they'll look at, can we bundle it together? Can we bundle it together? And I think that TV is going to move that way. It's a bigger fish to move, because it's still the bulk of media buying today. The way that it's bought and sold is very archetypal to the way that the television industry is run. But the efficiency is screaming out there for it to move that way. And I think when it does, the word video, which we all talk about today, video is television, video is desktop, it's mobile, it's tablet. I think once we push that boundary with programmatic TV buying, then video buying will become, it doesn't matter what kind of platform it is, you're buying where the user is engaging. And I think, that's coming. And I think maybe in the next, 18 to 24 months, I think we're going to see some major innovation in that.
Okay, we're about out of time, but time for one question if anyone wants to ask.
Questions? No questions? We have a question from our actually feedback at Digiday mailbox, and that is, what about native? Can programmatic go native, or is that an oxymoron?
No, I mean, it's heading that way. You know, native advertising, you know, now has been defined, you know, as a valid ad format. I think the IAB have recognized 6 or 7 particular formats of native, which, you know, we adhere to. We acquired a company a year ago called Federated Media, and, you know, it's rich in native advertising across its blog network, and we've been looking at how can we more efficiently offer that at scale, because you're dealing, you know, native is custom. Native placement, you know, is not really something that can be bought with mass efficiency right now. So again, it's what is native, what do those ad units look like, and how can technology help bring scale to that, not just across one publisher, but multiple publishers, so you can reach audiences with you know, engaging creative. It's going to be there. We're looking at technologies now. Technologies are being approached to us, you know, by people wanting to get involved. So yeah, I think it's going to be the next level.
Great.
Okay, cool. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Right. Thank you.